Hi there, my name is FixFox and welcome to Heroes of Might and Magic 2. This is the FHeroes edition, and today, before we get into the actual scenario that we're going to be playing today, I wanted to give you a quick update on a piece of the development cycle for FHeroes2 that I have found very interesting, and that would be related to the map editor. I want to start off by reading a post. This is a little bit out of date. This looks like it's from January 9th of 2022, but it is talking about the FHeroes team's plans to include a rebuild of the map editor from the ground up. The question was posed by Sir Iron Fist on one of the Heroes of Might and Magic forums. Is it possible to build maps for FHeroes2 at this point? And so then Dranik, one of the FHeroes2 team members, says, currently FHeroes2 engine supports any map made with the official map editor, but soon we're going to introduce our own map editor with a completely new type of map format, allowing us to expand a map making experience with lots of missed features and adjustments, as well as fixing numerous bugs there. I am so excited. FHeroes2 is going to give us the opportunity as a Heroes of Might and Magic 2 community to put our creative minds to the test. Because one of the things I love so much about any game that has a map editor is the way that then it allows the community that has interest to perpetuate the game as they see fit, to innovate within the game, to create new things. With a map editor, that is one of the ways that you find increased longevity with any game. Not to mention Heroes of Might and Magic 2, which again, here we are some 20 odd years later. It's already got the longevity, but wouldn't this be a wonderful feature to add to the depth and soul of the game that we already love so much? And isn't it great that we have so many opportunities that could come about because we have a map editor in place? I'm already thinking that once that this is completed, and we don't have any official timetable insofar as I'm aware about when the map editor will be completed, but once the map editor is completed, I could see us doing a celebratory game. However many of the developers, however many of the diehard fans would be interested, maybe having a little bit of a map making contest, something where you could do an 8-person free for all. The best map wins, and then 8 people get to play that map. We stream it. We put it on YouTube. We invite Twitch stars or YouTube content creators, what have you, and just have a fun time playing the game just to celebrate the end of that piece of the developmental cycle. That's my plan. I would love to be a part of it. I would love to make it happen, even if I'm not one of the participants. But I can't tell you how excited I am. And when I saw that bit of news, that bit of knowledge, knowing that there is a map editor in the works, I wanted to pass that along to you, because at the end of the day, I've really gotten to the point where I love the FHeroes2 community. I love the care and concern that's gone into this great piece of work, making this game so fantastic, better than it ever was. And I want to make sure that I give them every opportunity to have their hard work put on display at every opportunity I have. And so just that quick little update, that was one thing that excited me. Maybe that excites you as well. So for today, we just completed Archibald Scenario 4. We will go back and do Archibald Scenario 3 at a later date. But for now, we are on to Scenario 5 of the Archibald campaign. It's going to be called Turning Point, or maybe it will be called something else. But let's view the intro first and take it from there.
Well done, General. The King of the Dwarves was so unhappy with your work that he has sent me some hate mail. It reads, "To Archibald Ironfist, murderous and vile usurper, we bid you down, 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 to burn forever in the fires of eternal damnation. We pray that your foul general, who we name forevermore Dwarfbane, joins you in this fate." How charming. The King of the Ogres has also sent a message on this matter. It seems that they were pleased with the outcome and have offered to permanently ally with us and send us troops. And now I must direct you to an urgent military matter involving the Lorendale Valley Barons. 2 have openly declared support for my rebel brother, a crime that I cannot tolerate. You must generate an army from scratch using the castles of 2 of my loyal supporters. I will view failure with displeasure.
General, this is Roland, your rightful king. I have a proposal for you. Come and fight on my side. You and I both know that you are wrong to work for my evil brother. It must gnaw at your conscience to know that you serve an unjust usurper. And for what reward? Money? I can give you money too. I offer not just riches, but honor, duty, and purpose. Come join me and serve the cause of justice. Now what say you?
Oh boy. Here's the deal, Roland. That is a great offer. I appreciate it, but right now we are bad to the bone and there is no going back. On the evil meter from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, that was at least a 7 or an 8 on the evil scale from King Archibald. He's reveling in the misery and the death and destruction of the Dwarven Kingdom. That's pretty bad, man. That's pretty messed up. So, with that being said, we had the opportunity to do the betrayal scenario where we change sides and we follow Roland instead. Switching sides leaves you with one of the 3 castles against, or with 3 castles against the enemy's 1. This battle will be the easiest one you will face for the rest of the war, traitor. But I can tell you right now, we're not going to do that. We started this fight with Archibald and we're going to stick with it. And so we will be doing scenario 5 turning point instead. Your enemies are allied against you and start close by. So be ready to come out fighting. You will need to own all 4 castles in this small valley to win. And we do have some new awards for us. We have the Ogre Alliance, so all ogres and ogre lords will be joining our army as we come into contact with them on the adventure map. That is going to be highly tactical to make sure that we are picking up whatever resources that they might be guarding, knowing that we are also going to get some excellent troops on top of it. And then we also have the Dwarf Bane Award as well. So dwarves and battle dwarves will always run away from any army that we take. Again, anything that they are guarding, off they go. So excellent awards. I'm looking forward to using those to the fullest extent. We should probably just dive right in. I'm wondering if this is another mirror scenario. I wonder if this is the same map that we played before in the Roland campaign, but we're not going to know until we dive into it. Necromancer, Warlock, or Barbarian. Because we have the Ogre Alliance, I'm going to try for Barbarians right now. I want to give it a shot and maybe build up a huge stack of Ogres and feel the joy that comes from that award. Let's put the difficulty on hard, as always, and let's get into it. One of your allies has joined Roland. You are now facing 3 castles, all belonging to the enemy. Good luck. So we start off with Thundax the Barbarian, 21 goblins, 4 orcs, the advanced pathfinding. Lots of resources all around us, my goodness. That's pretty terrific. Already I'm seeing some dwarves that we might be able to take out in due time to alleviate them of the burden of the treasures that they are currently guarding. Our town looks like it's the bare minimum. We have only our goblin hut purchased. We have everything else that we need to purchase. It looks like this is a very, very small map. Very small indeed. And so barbarians are not going to be a bad choice at all. And it does look like to me that this is a mirror match. Again, the same map, just us playing the opposite side that we did when we were in the Roland campaign. So I believe that there's a castle in the bottom left, a castle in the bottom right, and a castle in the upper left. So, knowing that, we're for sure going to get a second hero. Should we get more troops to start off with, or should we get a mage guild? That seems to be the question I often find myself battling with. Or the statue. In this instance, I'm going to start off with some shooters. I will take the orcs, and I will purchase them out and the 10 goblins that I have. And I'm only going to take one step outside of my main town. And I'm going to recruit, 15 and 4. 19 and 4, no question. We're going to recruit Joe Josh the Barbarian because he comes with more troops than Sabu does. And then we are going to move those troops into Thundax's army. I will actually keep the 1 goblin in Joe Josh's army and allow Thundax to split everything else. Should I split my goblins into 2 stacks and then my orcs into 2 stacks? I'll give it a try. I'm not sure if that'll be good or not. I have very little gold at my disposal, so these treasure chests, I am going to pick up for experience, but I am somewhat loath to do so. Only because I see gold here and resources there, will I make this happen for Thundax so I can get him up and going. And even so, you rarely see me do this, but I'm going to take the experience here. It's a bad ratio. I'm paying 1,000 gold for 500 experience, but I really feel like I need the levels in an early map. The fastest start I can get is usually the best, and I will do that again. Pathfinding I don't think is going to be useful for us at all. Let's take the luck, and then let's have Joe Josh actually head out, and I'm going to collect gold first. There's a sawmill right there. Looks like I have plenty of wood, plenty of ore, and those are the primary resources that the barbarians use. And there's more along the way. Tell you what, I'm going to have Thundax pick up these resources as he travels along the road to pick up this sawmill and to get some exploring done through the road. All right, I have one goblin in this army. One goblin. Let's see if Dwarfsbane will kick in or not. The Dwarfbane, run for your lives! And they just run. I feel so bad. I like dwarves, I really do. No, no, I am bad. I am evil. We don't like dwarves. They don't like us. Ogre lords, though. There's a bromance just brewing perpetually. So, let's pick up these free artifacts. The ogres recognize you as the Dwarfbane and lumber over to join you. So that is for free, 12 ogre lords, fantastic, and then 2 artifacts. You come upon a bridge spanning a dry gully. Before you can cross, a troll steps out from under the bridge and demands payment before it will permit you to pass. You refuse, and the troll charges, forcing you to slay it. You take its spiked shield as a trophy. That's going to be a +2 to attack and +2 to defense. You find a small tree that closely resembles the great Warlock Karnoth with a ring around one of its twigs. Scraps of clothing and rotting leather lead you to suspect that it is Karnoth, transformed. Since you can't help him, you take the magic ring, and that will be a +2 spell points per day to my hero. Really pretty good for a barbarian. Mana regeneration, I think, is actually fairly good for barbarians. Just because you can keep moving without having to worry about running dry on your spell points. I like this split with the 2 shooters, with the goblins in the middle, and then the ogre lords as the enforcers. Let's continue down the road, pick up our main sawmill. So I have about 4,800 gold. I think I should just push forward and get as many of these dwellings as I possibly can in the first week, and then push out a little bit further. I do want to stay on the road. I think that this is a very strong army, and because I have the +2 attack, +2 defense, I feel like I can take pretty much anything that I'm going to come across, unless the enemy started off with a very terrific army. Here we have an observation tower. On such a small map, that is the best thing. That's a sight for sore eyes, I can tell you that. We will pick that up next turn. Lots of ogres. We are going to pull them into our army and then upgrade them on the hill fort. I think that there's a lot of resources here. There's a little bit of resources there. This would be more selfish for Joe Josh because of the gazebo with the 1,000 experience. This seems to be more a smattering of good general resources. Let's pick up all these resources. Again, the Dwarfbane, run for your lives. 500 gold, 500 gold and 5 gems, and more to follow. Let's pick up our adobe. We have about 4,000 gold left. On these small maps, sometimes you can get away with just collecting the resources that are on the ground and having that work out in your favor. We just saw in the very edge of our sight an enemy. It looks like that was Jezebel. She ran back to her castle. So we see a road here that looks like it connects. Again, from castle to castle is my understanding. And then this middle road here that will connect the bottom right castle to our castle. So you can get across this map probably in 2-3 turns at the most. Because I have all this extra vision, let's plan out our next couple of steps. There's Ector. Strongest unit is a griffin, but not many of those. Whereas I have 2 opportunities to pick up flat ogres there and then upgrade them, and then a pack of ogre lords. Folks, we are going to just see how fast we can win this game, because I think we're going to pick up these free troops, and I think we're just going to roll the game. The ogres give you a grunt of recognition. Archibald's allies may pass. I think I made a mistake though, because I have no room in my army because all my stacks are full. I wonder what will happen here to these ogres. It looks like they just disappear, and because of my poor planning, I don't actually get to recruit them into my army. In this case though, the ogres recognize me as the Dwarf Bane, and I pick up 14 of them. So, my mistake. I will also get the upgrade for the orcs into orc chieftains. I'm probably not going to plan on upgrading the adobe or the stick hut because the hill fort is so very, very close. I'm down to 880 gold. I should maybe consider just sticking with what I have and not pushing forward anymore. The Traveler's Boots were the hero, the absolute MVP of the last scenario that I completed. But in such a small map, I don't think that that's going to pay nearly so many dividends. And so I'm probably going to avoid, I'm probably not going to go back and fight the swordsman just to get that. If it is cheap and easy, I may, but otherwise I'm not going to worry about it. I don't believe that Hector can backdoor into my hometown, and even if he does, I will have 2,500 gold that I can spend on defenses. I will probably decide, do I pick up the Ogre Lords or do I go fight this town right now? I don't have ballistics or anything like that, but I have a tremendous amount of troops in my army. I do believe that to be safe, I'm going to pick up this pack of Ogre Lords, and then that will make sure that I can shade over to my town if Hector gets a little too excited and thinks that he can do something interesting in my side of the map. The Ogre Lords recognize me. I go from 26 to 43. I will pick up these 2 treasure chests because the experience there I think is going to be fantastic. I did not even step on the Shrine of the Third Circle. I don't have wisdom. I don't even think I'm going to get wisdom this game, so I don't feel any need to concern myself with that. I will pay the 750 gold just so I can get some basic defenses, and then I'm going to purchase my hardiest troops first, and then 1 shooter. No, I probably should have bought 1 troll first and then purchased 3 ogres and maybe a wolf or 2. But all the same, so long as my tower defenses can hold, we'll be in pretty good shape. Peasants, archers, and griffins, I think this army can defend very well. On to day 6. Unfortunately, I think that he does not realize I can't reach him. I don't think he did that on purpose, but all the same, I'm a little frustrated with him for that. Through a clearing, I observe an ancient artifact. It is guarded by a nearby phoenix. Do I want to fight the phoenix for the Spellbinder's hat? No. And the only reason why I don't is because I don't think I have any spells really worth fighting or using now anyway. I'm just here for the experience. Basic ballistics, I will take the basic ballistics. Archery in a castle siege is very good as well, but not better than ballistics in my humble opinion. So it's day 6. If I can get over here as soon as possible, that's what I would prefer to do. I'm pretty sure actually that Joe Josh can purchase out all of the trolls and maybe not all the wolves. Maybe next turn Hector will wander too close to me and I'll be able to spring my trap and destroy him with Joe Josh. That is my plan at this point. I'm not going to build any other town or any other building here. I think that this is going to be what carries me into an early victory. Because he wandered right in front of me and I don't want him to just pick up the observation tower, I will attack him. Let's fight this fight. So I'm a little interested. I'm guessing that Hector the Knight was purchased by a Warlock town in the upper left, which is why he has griffins, but he also has the base troops that a knight comes with. That does tell me, I think, what I need to know about the castle in the upper left. So we have Necromancers in the bottom right. I'm guessing Warlocks in the upper left. And then who's to say what's in the bottom left? We have no indication at this time. We have no spells really to use. I anticipate that Hector will run very shortly. There we go. And in fact, I did fight that battle worse because those griffins did better against me. But how could I have known? Let's stay on the road. Because it's day 7, let's plan on fighting this siege at the very start of next turn. And because Joe Josh does not have to defend so heavily right now, we will consider, do we push him out so he can upgrade these ogres to Ogre Lords? Or do I wait one more turn so he can resupply in the middle of Thundax's campaign? I think I'm going to wait one more turn, and then we'll purchase what we can and then do the free upgrades in just a moment. Vampire growth, +5. Very good idea to take out the Necromancer town here then. Yep, that tells me everything I need. Ector is back, and now he has a few Hydras. So those are the 5th level creatures for the Warlock faction. That must be a Warlock town in the upper right. Let's fight this fight here against Jezebel in the Necromancer town. It's a glorious combat. Let's fight it all the same. Wow, really not much. Really not much to her name. Little bit of a point of interest is that the enemy probably got the observation tower and then decided to stay in their castle, knowing that I was so very close to them that I could reach out and they have to defend. Otherwise, I would just take their town for free. They did not want to get caught out on the grassy plain with such a weak army. And because of that, they ended up just not doing much by the way of moving forward with their plans. They just kind of were frozen there. And that's a little unfortunate. Is that what I would have done? Probably. Sometimes you absolutely just have to turtle and take your chances with whatever defender's bonus you can get. And then if you can win off that defender's bonus, then you're golden. But it rarely works out very, very well. Usually the offensive strategy is the best strategy. But what can you do when the enemy just walks into your house with 43 Ogre Lords? Either way, it's going to be a little bit rough. So, let's see. We're not even going to pick up the garbage heap or anything like that. I think I'm actually going to pick up the orcs over the Ogre Lords. I can pick up 5 Ogre Lords, or I can pick up the 10 orcs. I think because I took some losses in the orcs and because I have such a huge stack of Ogre Lords already, I will plan on getting the upgraded Orc Chieftains and then push forward from there. Is there anything necessary in this town? I will stop in as soon as I can. I'll pick up a spell book. It may be valuable. Magic Arrow, Cure, Curse. There's some value there. Did I even pick up my statue? I haven't even picked up my statue. That tells you where my priorities lie at this point. Shrine of the Second Circle. I can learn a level 2 spell without the Wisdom. We'll take Visions. We're going to cast... Are we going to cast Visions right now? I get 2 extra spell points per day to my hero. It may not be the wise choice, but I do want to cast Visions. Visions predicts the likely outcome of an encounter with a neutral army camp. It says likely because, of course, you can mess up your fight so bad that the computer can't help you there. But let's check to see. These 64 peasants, these weak creatures will surely flee before us. So it doesn't... Oh, and 24 archers. These weak creatures will surely flee before us as well. 28 archers, so I'm guessing it's here and here, or here and here. 28 archers will flee before us, and I guess it just goes in this range. I don't know if the range around you is impacted by your spell power, or how the computer determines what camps you can see. I may have to do some testing on that later, just to see exactly how the Visions spell works. This witch's hut is going to give me luck, but unfortunately I already know luck. So the witch says, you already know that which I would teach you. I can help you no further. Let's pick up this gazebo. I'm wondering why they didn't pick up this lucky rabbit's foot. It's likely, or at least it's possible, that there is some issue. Maybe there's something guarding that artifact. Okay, blue, blue. I guess that all the enemies were blue. It wasn't 3 separate factions. It was just blue. Had 3 towns and I had 1. 1,000 experience. We'll take the logistics. Yeah, green dragon. I don't think... I know I can beat the green dragon. It's not worth the +1 luck for later battles. I have such a good army size, I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm going to get rid of this 1 goblin. And then I will pick up 29 halflings just for Joe Josh's army. Let's use the FHeroes function where you can quickly and easily move troops back and forth. And let's send Joe Josh. Let's send him back home just in case he needs to defend. But Thundax is probably also going to head this same direction. We can either go bottom left or we can go upper left. I'm probably going to consider doing upper left because I know this enemy has Hydras, the 5th level creature. Looks like Sarkin the wizard. Looks like there's wizards in the bottom left, and there's not much to them. No. They have a pack of archers. That would indicate that they are a knight faction in the bottom left. Let's take out the bigger threat first and go from there. Let's move Joe Josh just a little bit out of the way. I think, yes, I can fight Ector on the open field, and I will do so. Let me make sure that my stacks are correct. Oh, I guess that there's no splitting my stacks because I have a full army. It feels good to have a full army. Let's do it. Glorious combat. Yeah, 6 Hydras. You know, taking them adventuring is a decision I usually hate to do, but for 75 hit points, that is a lot of beef on these Hydras. A lot of beef. And we have seen the computer do an excellent job in preserving that stack by using things like anti-magic in the past. The only problem is that if you do anti-magic, then there's a probability that you're not going to be able to haste or teleport and then get your Hydras into the battle. If you were planning on them being the last creature alive, okay, but otherwise there's some pluses and minuses to that. Let's take out 2 Griffins. The Orc Chiefs are doing a good job there. I am going to attack these peasants. I know that the Hydras can't reach me at this time. And then I'm going to move the Ogre Lords within striking distance of the Hydras, but not so close that they can strike me. Let's take out the shooters. And then I only have 1 spell power, so whatever spells I cast, I do need to be smart about it. It looks like Ector doesn't have any spells himself. And let's just start whittling down this large stack of Hydras. I'm going to save the Wolves because they are my fastest unit, and that speed could be very valuable. Let's have the Ogre Lords take the hits and keep on moving. Whew. 47 Ogre Lords just did 352 damage, and 4 Hydras perished. Wow, that's a significant amount of damage. Let's see, who's going last? The Hydras were going to go last. Let's finish this battle off here. And no running for Ector. 2 Orcs, 6 Goblins, Seeing Eye Pendant as our reward. I suppose we'll take the scouting. We already have no penalty on Wasteland because of our advanced pathfinding, but the scouting makes the most sense at this point. In the event that Saracen goes through these peasants, which he certainly should, I think that I might be able to make just enough defenders here in Portsmouth just to hold off the enemy for just a little bit longer. I don't know if you can hear, but this is one thing that I kind of dislike about the Good Old Games copy that I use as my base, in which FHeroes2 then builds off of. The sound. I don't have the opera soundtracks, and occasionally the sound glitches. Right now, this is the Sorceress Town theme, and I'm clearly on the Necromancer's Guild. I have all of the music in the individual files, and I will listen to it occasionally here and there, kind of like as study music. It's a little sad and a little frustrating. You may have noticed that throughout all my playthroughs, that the sound does not always match up to where it ought to. Okay, that's the end of week 2, day 4, on to day 5. Good choice from the enemy hero there. Because I've already beat the upper left hero, enemy's hero twice, I will actually go down south and put an end to whatever ideas they have of conquest. The mummies are going to run. We are going to let them. I might as well pick up the extra. I'm not going to pick up the 750 gold. It will pay for itself very, very quickly. I think that this map is mostly already over. I don't think that we need to concern ourselves with waiting for that to really pay off. Are there any other creatures that I want to pick up? No, I think I'm just going to split these stacks of zombies, so that way we can defend a little bit better. We'll get Joe Josh back in, and he will pick up these ogres, he'll pick up these trolls, and the wolves, and so we can resupply as soon as possible in the field. Because I came so close, Saracen decided to turn back. That's one of those times where I would have liked to have seen the AI go straight into the castle and fight that fight. Maybe they win, maybe they lose, but that is certainly a losing move. Eventually you have to be decisive. Eventually you have to be the very best you can be. The auto-pathing will take me this way, but I'm going to manually path this way. It will take me 1 turn longer, but because I'll have 2 hexes left to move afterwards, I think I come out ahead. The enemy has fled. It looks like I'm not even going to need to fight that fight. It did not look like a particularly tough fight. Let's pick up Ogre Lords. And then I'm actually going to go up north. So that way perhaps I can just stop any enemies from adventuring too far. And there's some free gold here. Leadership is a welcome sight, always. Our supposition was correct, and there is the enemy knight town in the bottom left. And if I was trying to teach Heroes of Might and Magic 2 to someone, I don't know how I would teach context clues like that. I don't know how you help somebody understand ways you can read the map unless you have the experience. I checked the other day, and on my good old games copy of Heroes of Might and Magic, it keeps track of the hours you've played, and I've got about 150 hours of Heroes of Might and Magic 2 played on the gold edition. So, I mean, I've got that experience. That's maybe more experience, maybe less than other people have. But that combined with all my experience with Heroes of Might and Magic 3, Heroes of Might and Magic 4, I don't know how you teach somebody that without experience. Just being able to know what is on the map and then how to weigh the options based off of the information you already have. A glorious battle. It looks like this is no problem whatsoever. We will just take that town for free. There's no purchases we're going to make. There's no troops here that I feel like recruiting. We're going to head north, and let's end this fight in the next 3 turns. Lord Kilburn actually has a fairly decent army, so I'm going to head his way and just head him off, as it were, trying to make sure that he doesn't get too far into my territory. I don't want to have to chase him all the way there and then maybe not be able to get back to his main castle before a new week pops up. In fact, I more or less figured that he would go back and take the free hero with Joe Josh, and knowing that this scenario is won, I made that decision. I don't like that decision. You know you're going to lose. You know that you are down in troops, and you run without even fighting the fight down to the last man. I don't love that decision, but it is a choice that we all have to make here and there. This fight is no fight at all. And blue player has been vanquished. So, folks, that was another cakewalk, but here's the deal. I truly believe that the difficulty in these campaigns is going to pick up very, very quickly. This was the last scenario I remember as being fairly easy in the Archibald campaign. From here on up, this should be a buckle up type of situation, and let's plan on there being some fireworks. If you say to yourself, oh, that's pretty easy, just wait. So we are successful in that, and we are now going to be on to scenario 6 for next time. In the meantime, folks, let's take a quick break. I appreciate you being here with me. I appreciate all the support. I hope this finds you well. I hope that those you care about are well, and we will plan on seeing you here next time for Archibald's campaign scenario 6. Until